Okay, so hello everyone. This will be a end-term previous year questions. You can say doubt clearing session. So I'll tell you how the flow of this session will be. We'll start with the previous term questions, and in the questions, if you have any doubts regarding any topic which is related to that question, you can ask that, and then I can keep clearing the doubts like that. Okay. And in between too, like after we are done with all the questions, if you have any extra doubts, like some topics which we did not cover in the questions, so you can ask that. Okay, let's jump on to the previous year questions, previous term questions. So this is the first question. Just give me a second, I'll get the pen tab and come back. Okay, so read the question. You have a snippet of code, and depending on the value of placeholder, what will be the output if the input is 92? Okay, is the question clear? It is asking us this. If the value of temp is 92, if temp is 92, and this placeholder, what is the value of this placeholder? This placeholder is, you can say, okay, according to the flow, this is some condition because this is if, so this will be else or elif, right? You get the point? Yeah. So if the input is 92, what should be the value of this placeholder? Now, let's see, this is 92. Okay, I'll take a screenshot of this and then we'll go on to a. Okay, so here is the question. Now, this is 92. This is given as 92. So this is 92. Now, if temp is greater than 90, if temp is greater than 90, then this block will be executed, right? If temp is greater than 100, the state will be set to hot, else the state will be very warm. So what is the range? If temp is greater than 90, so everything which is greater than 90 will go on this block, this particular block. And then if it is greater than 100, so this is greater than 90, and let's say suppose 100 is here. So if it is greater than 100, then that will be hot, right? Else it will be very warm. So what is the condition for very warm? Like what will be the place? So this will be the range for very warm, right? So when temp is 92, it is in this range, like 90 to 100 range. So state will be set to very warm. Is this clear? So now let's just go through the options. So when placeholder is if or elif, output is warm. So as we saw in this question, like this does not depends upon this placeholder. Why? Because since temperature is 92, it will always be in the it will always go in this if block. So whatever is this, if or elif, it does not matter. The state will be very warm. So when placeholder is if or elif, output is warm. No, output is very warm. If placeholder is if or elif, output is okay. No, yeah. So there is one catch in this question. I just got it. Let's suppose this is 92. Clear everything. Just suppose this is 92. So our temp is 92. So this block will be executed. So the output will be set, state will be set to very warm. Now after this, if this placeholder is if, let's say, if this placeholder is if, then if temp is greater than 60, is 92 greater than 60? Is 92 greater than 60? Yes, it is. Since it is greater than 60, this condition will also be executed. Like this block will also be executed. Again, we'll check if temperature is greater than 70. So 92 is greater than 70. We'll set the state to warm. Okay. So if this, let's suppose this was elif, not only if. If this was elif, what will happen is if temperature is greater than 90, else if it is greater than 60. If it was elif, then this will only execute, this condition will only be true when the temperature is between 60 to 90. On elif, it will execute only if the temperature is between 60 to 90. If it is if, not elif, if this is if, it will execute for 90 as well, and it will execute this. So both the blocks will be executed if this is if. Okay. So when placeholder is if or elif, the output is warm. No. If the placeholder is if, then the output is warm. If the placeholder is elif, then it will be very warm. If the placeholder is if or elif, the output is cool. So this is also wrong. When placeholder is elif, output is very warm. When placeholder is if, output is warm. So this is correct, right? Because when this is if, this will be executed, state will be set to very warm. And if this is if, so this will again be executed. So the state will now be set to warm. Got it? So this will be the correct answer. And when placeholder is elif, output is cool, and when placeholder is if, output is warm. No, this is incorrect. So let's check the answer now. C, yes. C. Right. So option C. And let's check the answer. So yes, C is correct. Now let's move on to the next question. So this question is, again we have to see the code snippet, and guess the answer. Let's just take a screenshot of this question as well. Okay, so we have a list named lines. The first element is first line, second element is second line, third element is third line. Okay, now what we do? We do file is equals to open text file dot txt, and then we open this file in write mode. We go file dot write lines, and then file dot close. Okay, new file is new lines is new first line and new second line. We again open the same file. This is text file dot txt. This is again text file dot txt. So we open the same file, and then we go file dot write new line 0 dot strip, and then we close the file, and then we open the file third time in read mode, and we go content is equals to f dot read line. So this will read all the lines, and then file dot close. And then for data in content, we have to print the content. I'll tell you what write lines does is, for writing there are two major functions. For writing there are two functions. First is write. First function is write. So what write does is, it will just take a string. It takes a string. Okay, this will take a, it takes a string and writes it in the file, and writes it in the file, in the file. So this is what write does, and what write lines does is, second is write lines. So this will take a list. This will take a list and write all the elements. Elements of the list in the file. In the file. Okay. And one more thing to notice, when you open the file in read mode, right? When you open not read mode, write mode. When you open the file in write mode, whatever is already written in that file, that will be cleared, right? Let's say we have some file, and let's say this is written 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Suppose this is written in a file. These three lines are written in a file. When I open this file in write mode, if I open this file in write mode and I just write hello, and if I write hello, what will happen is, everything will be deleted. Okay, and the only content which will be here is hello. So this happens when you open a file in write mode. Okay, so what we do, we open this file text file.txt in write mode. We go f.write lines, and we close the file. So these three lines, first line, so the file will look like will look something like this. Let's suppose this is the file. This will be the first line. First line. This is the second line. See, there is a new line character at the end, right? So that's why it is appearing in multiple lines. If there was no new line character, then all of this would be in a single line. Got it? And then we have the third line. Nice. So, and then we close the file. So this will be the file up to this line. Now we go new lines is new first line and new second line. We have a new list, and then we open the same file and we write new line 0. So from this list we are taking the 0th element, which is this. This is the 0th element and this is the first element. So we just take this element, we strip it. So what will strip do? It will remove this new line character. So there's no new line character now. And then we close the file. So as I said, when you open a file in write mode, everything which was previously written will be removed. So this will all be removed, and the only content which will be here is this new first line. New first line. So the content will be this. Right? Is this part clear up to here? I hope this is clear. Now just give me a thumbs up. Sure. Okay. Now, so writing part is done. Now reading part. We open the file in read mode. We go content is file.read lines. So for reading there are three functions. For writing there were two functions, write and write lines. For reading there are three functions. For reading, so this is the first function. First function is just f.read. F.read. So this will read whole file and just give you a string of all the files. So reads whole file and give uh, store in a string. Store as a string. So the whole file will be stored as a string. Then we have f.read line. We have f.read line. So what read line does is it will read only one line. One line. Okay. And then we have f.read lines. Read lines. So this will read all the lines. Read all the lines and store as list. Okay, so this is what read lines do. Now, so we go content is file.read lines. So this will read the whole file and just keep all the lines in a list. So there's only one line, so the list will have only one element, which is this new first line. New first line. So this will be the only content of this file. And then we close the file. So for data in content, so for data, this is the only data, print content. For data in content, print content. So this print content, this will print the whole list. Okay, content was the list, right? Content is this. This is content, right? This is content, right? So for data in content, if we print data, then this element will be printed. But here we are printing content. We are not printing data. Let's see the options now. Yeah. So the options are first line, second line, third line. So obviously no, this will not be the correct answer. New first line, yes, this will be the answer. See, this is the correct answer. So any doubts in the file handling part?
And there's one more RW, and there is one more.
Haha. Coming in,
Can you
please.
explain that also?
Explain what?
There is two, na RW, and there is one more. I don't remember, but
Yes, that is append.
yeah. So can you explain that also?
Yes. So what happens in append is, as I said, so this is for the writing part. This is for write lines part. So append mode is just an extension of this. Uh, you can say the writing mode. So what happens in append is, as I said, in writing mode, the functions are same for append. It will be write and write lines. The functions are same. But as I said that in write mode, when you open a file in write mode, what happens is all the previous content is deleted and then the new lines are added, right? What happens in append mode is all of that previous content will be as it is, and then the new content which you're writing will be added in the bottom of the file. Got it? I'll
I got
quickly
it.
show you a practical example. Okay. If you have gotten it, so I don't think that is needed. Okay. Let's just move on to the next question. Okay. Let's now. The Python code has a base class character. So character is the base class and a subclass mage that extends it. Check the following code snippets below. So we have the class character in which we have init method, which is the constructor, which takes name and role and just sets two attributes, name and role as name and role. Then we have a function which is speak. So what speak does is it will just return self.name is a brave self.role. Okay, so this will just print this formatted string. Now this mage classes, this has a constructor, and inside this constructor it is calling super.init name mage, and then self.spell is spell. Okay, so just tell me, is this clear, this base class, or do I need to explain this?
Can you go over it again? Didn't get it.
So basically what happens is this is, you can say, object oriented programming. So we make an object named character. So this is a class, right? And then we have the constructor. So this init method is called the constructor. So basically this takes name and role. This takes two attributes and then sets it. So what happens in classes, uh, okay, so you make a list like this. A is equals to list of this, right? One, two, three. We make lists like this, right? We make dictionaries like this. We make set. If you have to make a set, you go like this, na? A is a set of B is a set of A. So these all are objects which have been made. Okay. Now this we can make custom objects ourselves. So this character is a object that have been made. So if you have to make a object of character, we can just go C is equals to as list and set. We can write character. We can go character, and then over here this takes two things, name and role. So we can just pass that the name of the character will be let's say Goku, and role will be let's say magician. So that is now will be set over here. So this C is now a object of this class. If you go, so this has two attributes, right? Name and role. If you go C dot name, this will give you the name of this uh, character, which is Goku. So this will give you Goku. And if you go C dot role, this will give you magician. So this is how basic class works. Okay. Now this is setting the roles, and this is just this has a function as well, which is speak. Now if you do c dot speak, c dot, if you go c dot speak, so this will just call the speak function. So what what is the speak function? It is self dot name is a brave self dot role. uh, just a second. Yeah. Self dot name is a brave self dot role. So what is the name of this character? It is Goku. So Goku is a brave self dot role. What is the role? Magician. So if I call the speak function, it will give me Goku is a brave magician. It will be like this. Okay. Now, so this is the base class character which has two attributes, name and role. Now this mage class, right? This mage class, this will take two attributes, name and spell. Okay. This was taking two attributes, name and role. Okay. Character takes two attributes, name and role. Mage takes name and spell. Now it will go super dot. So what is super dot? Since it is extending character, right? See, we have a class character, and while defining it, you can see we have just written character. There's nothing in brackets over here. But while defining mage class, we have character written in brackets. So what this means? This means that we want to inherit the properties of character as well. Got it? So all the attributes of character and all the functions of character will be uh, copied, you can say, to mage when we extend the character class. So the constructor of mage is taking two things, name and spell. And what it is doing super dot. So super is referencing this, the base class. Super references the base class. So from super, we are calling the constructor. So we are calling this function, and inside this we are passing name and mage. So name is passed, anything which the user inputs, that will be the name, and role is mage. So for all the objects made from this mage class, the role will be set to mage, and then it sets the spell to spell. So basically, if we make a character, we had to give two things, name and the role of that particular character. Now when you make a object of mage class, you'll have to give name. Let's say, what should the name? Let's say some name.
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. Yeah, let's take Dumbledore. Let's take Dumbledore. So Dumbledore. So mage will take Dumbledore, and it will take spell. See, it is taking name and spell. So it is taking Dumbledore as name and spell. I cannot remember any spell of Dumbledore. So let's just write
Abracadabra.
abracadabra. Okay. So I'll just write ABC. Okay, to save some time. Now, so what this does is, this takes two things, name. So this is name, and this is spell, and then it will call the super dot in it. So it will call the init function, or you can say the constructor function of character. So it will take name and role is passed as mage. So this will basically call the character class, and it will be name is Dumbledore, and the role of Dumbledore will be mage, because it was default. Mage was sent as a, you can say, default argument. And then spell of Dumbledore is ABC or abracadabra. So Dumbledore will have D, name will be Dumbledore, role will be mage, and then we have spell. Spell will be ABC. Okay. So this was the basics. Now since we have two same named functions, we have both speak. So the bottom speak will be given priority. Okay, so this speak will be given priority. Since the names are same, this will be given priority. So this is basically, this function will override the previous function. So this is basically, this will give you output uh, Dumbledore. Dumbledore is a mage who casts ABC. So this will be the output for the mage speak. Okay, now let's just go through this. So warrior is a character, tigreal and warrior. So the warrior is a, name is, what is the name? It is tigreal. This is name, and this is role. And mage is valor. So this is name, this is spell, and what is the role of this particular mage? What is the role? The role will be mage, because for all the mage classes, the role is set as mage, right? Role is mage. Now we go warrior dot speak. So when we go warrior dot speak, it is giving us name is a brave, role. So tigreal is a brave warrior. Tigreal is a brave warrior. So this will be the output of this. And then mage dot speak. So when we go when we call the speak function for mage, it will give us name is a mage who casts spell. So basically valor uh, is a mage who casts, what is the spell? Fireball. So this will be the output. Any doubts in this one?
No.
Yeah. So Tigreal is a brave warrior and Valor is a mage who casts fireball. So this will be the final answer.
So, so if we have any other class like archer, so it
Huh.
will take the default argument that that is a brave archer. Like,
Yes. When you set, see, in mage class, it was set as mage. In archer, if
yeah.
you set as archer, that will be, the default will be archer.
Okay.
Yeah. That does not depend on the name.
No, I meant to ask like here we have a subclass mage. So if we
Mhm.
don't have to, we will use the default, na? Like
I Yeah.
in depth. Yeah.
So like for this question, we are using this default mage. But for some other question, right, you can take this as input as well. You can take three things as input. Basically, you can add the role over here and then you can set the role from here. So if you want a default, you can add a default like this, and if you want some input, you can get the inputs as well. Okay. Now let's get this. Let's get the options as well. So what is the output of this snippet of code? So we have a sentences list, and inside that list we have three elements: a blue box, Python is powerful, and blue bottle. Okay, C is 0, S is empty, and for I in sentences, words equals to I dot split, C is 0, 0, 0. Okay, let's see what happens. So for I in sentences, this will iterate over all the elements, right? So let's just take this, a blue box. So in the first iteration, the value of I will be a blue box. This will be the value of I. Now we go words equals to I dot split. So this is a string, and now if I do split, the string dot split, what happens is this will make a list.
Yes.
Yeah. So words will be this, a blue, and then box. So this will be words list, and CE is 0 for words and words. Now we are iterating over this. So the value of word will be A, then it will be blue, then it will be box. Now we are iterating over this. So for word and words, if length of word mod 2 is equals 0, basically if length of this word mod 2, modulus 2 basically checks whether the length is even or odd. Okay, so here we are checking if the length is even. Basically if we divide the length by 2, we should get 0 remainder, which means the length should be even. So if this is of even length, CE will be incremented by 1. So let's just do it for this. So for word and words, length of this is the length even? No, it is not. So what we will do? There's no else condition, so we'll do nothing. We'll just go to the next word, which is blue. Is length of blue even? Yes, it is even. So we will add 1 to CE. So the value of CE will be 1 now. And then we have box. The box is also not even. So we'll do nothing. So this loop is finished. This whole loop is finished. Okay. Okay. So this whole loop is done. Now we will check if CE is greater than C. If CE is greater than C. So the value of CE is 1 and the value of C is 0. So is 1 greater than 0? Yes, it is. So we will change C to CE. So C will be changed to 1 and S will be changed to I. So the value of I was this, a blue box. So the value will be a blue box. Okay. Now from this, can we like infer what is this code trying to do? So we can when is C being incremented? It is being incremented only when the length of any word is even. Any word is of even length. So CE is basically counting the number of even lengthed words. Got it? Is this clear?
Yes, it is.
CE is counting number of words which have even length. Now we are comparing. If CE is greater than C, we change C to CE and then S to I. So basically, if the number of uh, words with even length of this particular sentence is greater than something which we have stored, then we will change. So it is a very generic code to find the maximum number or maximum length. So it is basically trying to find the maximum of these sentences. So basically, which of these sentences has the maximum number of even length words? Got it? And also, if you are not getting this, that is not necessary. Since there are only three sentences, you can try run for all these three. Okay. So a blue box. How many words were there? Only one. Only this is even length. So PYT HON. So this is even. This is also even. And then 3, 3, 2. This is also even. So this is 3. This has 1. This has 3. And this has 2. So which of these sentences has the maximum number of even length words? This one. Python is beautiful. Right? So the final value of C will be 3, and the final value of S will be this particular sentence. Python is powerful. So the option will be this. Python is powerful. Got it? Let's just check. Yeah, this is the correct answer. Any doubts in this one?
No.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next question. So we have consider the following snippet of code. Y is a real number. When compare yy is called, which return statement in the function is executed? So when compare yy is called, which return statement? Okay, so this for this I don't think we need to go on to that there. This is a very easy question. We can do it right here. So see, what is this compare function doing? It is basically taking two variables, or you can say two arguments, which is m and n. Okay, and if m is greater than or equals to n, we return m comma n, and if m is smaller than n, then we return n comma m. Okay, is this function clear? If m and n is confusing, you can say the left number and the right number. So if the left number is greater than or equals to the right number, we will return them as it is, left number comma right number. But if the left one is smaller, then we will change the order. So on the left side, there will always be the bigger number. Got it? So the question was, if y is a real number, when we compare yy, which return statement is executed? So yy, both are same numbers. So this will basically check if y is greater than or equals to y. So yes, y is equals to y. So this condition will be true. And if this condition is true, then the third line will be executed. Right?
Yes. A option.
Yeah. So the option can be the return statement in line 3, which is inside if block. Now let's. Okay. Now consider the following snippet of code. So we have a function which is do something. and this takes a list. Okay, let's read the question properly and then we'll read the function. So if lst is a non-empty list of positive integers, so lst is a non-empty list of positive integers, which of the following statements is correct about the recursive function do something lst? Okay, so we are calling do something function on this list. So what is this list? This is a non-empty list of positive integers. So we only have, let's create a non-empty list of positive integers. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5. Let's suppose this is the list. Now let's just go through the function. So if list is empty, we return 0. This list is not empty, we will not return 0. If list 0 mod 2 is not equals to 0, we return 1 plus do something lst1 this. So if list 0, so this is the 0th element of this list, right? Mod 2, so we divide this by 0, so 1 divided by 2, is the remainder 0? Remainder 0? No, it is not 0. So basically 1 is odd number, so we are checking for odd numbers. So if the first element of this list is a odd number, we will return 1 plus do something lst 1 common. So basically if this is odd, so this number is odd, so we will return 1 plus, and then again we are calling the do something function. So I'll just write do sum, and then we are calling the do something function on this list, which is 1 colon. So 1 colon is basically from the second element. So 2 3 4 and 5. Now again this function will be called, and this function basically checks the first element. Is the first element odd or not? So this is not odd, this is even. Let's see what is being done for the even functions. So for evens, we are just returning the same thing. So for evens, this will basically call do something, do sum, and then 3 4 5, 3 4 5. This is odd, so this will be 1 plus do sum 4 5, right? This is even, so this will just call do sum 4 5, 5 only. So basically at each step, one number is being reduced. Now this is odd, so this will call do sum, and since there are no elements, this will be an empty list. And now when the list is finally empty, this check will be passed, so this will return as 0. So this will give you 0. So from here we can get 1 plus 0, which is 1. So the return value of this thing is 1, correct? The return value is 1. And now the return value of this whole thing is also 1, because nothing is getting added. So from here also we are getting 1 as return. Now here we have 1 and we have another 1, so the return value of this particular block will be 1 plus 1 2, right? And then we have another 1, so 1 plus this 2, that will be 3. So this function was basically calculating how many odd numbers are there in the list, because for each odd number it was adding 1 1 1 1. Got it? So you can see the options as well. It returns total number of odd elements in the list. Yes, this is the correct option. It returns total number of even elements. No. It returns the sum of even elements. No. It returns the sum of odd elements. No. Okay. If we want the sum of odd elements, what we can do is we just need to change this one. We can just change this one to the first element of LST. LST 0 plus this. So this will give us sum of odd elements. Got it? So the first option is correct. Yeah. Now let's look at this question.
सोचे जो पढ़ता है तो लगता है यहाँ रूम में पढ़ाई हो रही
Okay, so we have a text data science at IITM, and the substring is text 5, 15, 2, and the result is substring plus text 0 plus text 2 plus text 5, and length is this print length. Now, are you familiar with string slicing? How this slicing works? Hello. So I'll give you a uh, okay. So string slicing is basically we have a let's say we have s is equals to some string. Let's say a b c d e f g h I j k l. Let's suppose s is this. Now when we do slicing, we'll write the variable name, and in brackets we will have the start. We will then colon. We will have the end, and then we'll have steps. Okay.
I understand string sizing for you. If
Okay. String
you can
slicing is
continue.
done, na?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I I didn't know you can say my reactions on this. I realize now that you
Reactions.
can.
For reactions, I'll have to switch the tabs. So whenever I ask a
Oh,
question, just you can turn on your mic, and
okay, okay, got it.
that will be better. So let's just jump onto this question. Okay. So we have the text data science at item. Substring is text 5. So we are starting from the fifth index. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth index. So it will start from science. It will go till 15. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and this is 15. So since this is 15, it will stop at this t, right? And then steps are two. So from science and at we have to take two steps. So this is the start point. We have to start from here. This is the end point, and then we just have to take two steps. So s I n e a, correct?
We will be taking the space also, na, in consideration. There is
Uh,
space.
yeah, we will take it in consideration. That's why we skip the space, na. We are
Okay,
taking
okay,
only alternate characters. So we take S,
okay,
we skip C, we take I. We skip
okay,
T,
got
we take N, we skip C, we take E. And then we skip this space and we take A.
it. Okay.
Okay. So substring is this. So result is substring plus text 0. So this is the substring, which is S I N E. So S I N E and then A. Sign A. And then text 0. So zeroth element is D. Text 2. So 0, 1, 2. This is T. And then text 5. So 5 was this
Space,
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This S.
space, space.
Space is 4, na?
No, it was
Indexing
five.
starts from 0.
Okay, okay, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So length is basically length of this. So how many characters are there? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the answer will be 8. Simple. We can just put in our answer as 8 and let's check the answer. Yeah. The answer is 8. What will be the output of this code now? Okay, so we have x is 2, y is 3, iterations are 0. While x is less than 50, x is equals to x into y, iterations plus equals to 1. Okay, so while x is less than 50, so x is less than 50 over here, x equals to x into y. So the new value of x will be 6, and iterations plus equals 1. So iterations will be 1 now. Now, still x is less than 50, so the new value of x will be x into 3. So 6 3s are 18, and iterations is now 2. And then the new value of x is 18 is still less than 50. Then we'll again run this line. So 18 into 3. What is 18 into 3? 18 into 3. So that is 54. So this will give me 54. And then iterations is 3. Now 54 is greater than 50. So now we will not run the loop. Got it? And then we print iterations. So the final value of iterations is 3. Yeah. Then or is this clear now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So we have the following code snippet. We have this
And can you
try.
explain this try method?
Yeah. Okay. I'll go over the try block. So basically, what happens is whenever you write a code, okay. Let's suppose I am making a function for division. So I can go def divide. I am making a function for division which just takes two elements a b, and this will just return a divided by b. Okay, this is a basic divide function.
Yes.
Let's suppose in this function I just call this divide 2 comma 0. If I call it like this, is division by 0 possible? Is it possible?
No.
No, it is not possible. So this will throw an error.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, when we have a try block, so to handle so this error, when we have errors in the code now, this just stops the program for running anymore. If we hit the error, that will completely stop the program. But when
So
we
it is
write a
like a emergency stopper. It
yeah,
works like mine.
so error is stop. When we have the error, this will stop the program. So right now the program will be terminated.
Okay.
What we want is, if we have any error, that error should be dealt with. Like we should deal with that error, but the program should not stop.
Okay.
Right?
So it
Let's say
will. So it will continue after this point. I mean, if
basically,
we are at
yeah. Let's say we have some function over here. Okay. Let's say we have some function over here, and then we call the divide function this 2 0, and then we have some more functions over here at the bottom of the file. Okay, let's so how Python is gets executed is, this will basically execute
line
line
by
by
line.
line by line. Yes, so everything in this block will be executed, right?
Yeah.
And then when it is divide, so in divide we will get the error.
Yeah.
So this will stop the program. Now this block will not be executed.
Okay. So it is like it's working like a break function. Huh?
You can
I mean, I meant
no
in an
wait, wait,
analogy.
wait. Wait. Yeah, analogy, your analogy is correct, right? But this is the default behavior.
Okay.
What we want is, if there is an error in this part, right,
Yeah.
there should be a proper log or anything. We can handle the error we can handle the error in any method, and this should not be affected. This part should not be affected. If there is an error in this part should not be affected.
Okay.
Okay, so for this we have the try block. So what we do is, we will just change the divide function. Now the new divide function will look like this. We'll go def divide. This will take a and b, and we can just write a try block over here. Try return this, a divided by b. So this will try doing this operation. Okay, so try block is basically this, like try doing this, and if there are any errors, that will be caught in the except block. Except, and over here we can print division by 0 is not possible. Division by 0 is not possible. Okay, I'll just
Okay.
quickly make a program and show it to you as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where should we go?
Are you using Linux or Mac?
Yeah, I'm using Linux. Okay, let's suppose this is the older division function. Def divide.
And
This will
Can
take
you
a comma
can
b.
you zoom in the font? I can see.
Yeah, is this better now?
Yeah. It's a bit there.
This will return a divided by b. Now we'll just call the divide function over 2 comma 0. I don't think this will run. Yeah, see, division by 0. We got an error. Now let's add 2 3 print blocks over here. Print so before error before error 1, before error 2. So let's suppose these are some operations before the error. Now we call the divide function, and this before we will change to after. After error, and then this one is fine. This will now change this to 2. 2. Control S. Now if I run this, see, before error 1, before error 2. So these two lines are executed properly, right? Then we have a error in this line, this 0 division error, right? So this made our code break, that everything below that error line is not executed, right? Nothing is executed. So what should be done is, if there is an error in line 7, line number 8 and 9, they should not be, you know,
Affected.
bothered, affected. Yes. So for that we can have a try block, that try doing this, and except. Except is basically when there is an error, just print there was an error. There was an error. Okay. Now if we run this, see, before 1, before 2, there was an error, and after 1, after 2.
Okay,
Got
got
it?
it. Yeah.
And in the exit block, you can add the name of specific errors as well. So this particular thing was zero division error. So you can write except zero division error. If the error is zero division error, then you can print we cannot divide anything with zero. Okay, we cannot divide anything with zero. Now if we run this, see, we get an error message saying we cannot divide anything with zero.
Okay,
Got it?
got. Yeah.
Okay, so let's take this over here. Let's close the terminal. Okay, so where is the question? Let's take a screenshot of this particular part. Okay, yeah. So in this code, we have try print the value. Result is 10 divided by 0. So see, we are doing 10 divided by 0. So this will give us zero division error.
Yeah.
So except zero division error, we are handling the zero division error over here.
Yes.
So result is -2 and name error. So all the name errors are like defined over here. Zero division error occurs when attempt to divide it by zero. Name error occurs when an undefined variable is accessed. Basically, when we try to do this, okay.
When we try to call a thing
Yeah.
which we are not defined.
If we do print C, right? So C we have not defined. Now if I run this, we'll get a name error. C is not defined. And since we are handling only the zero division error, this will break the program. Okay.
Yeah.
If if you only have the except block, it will handle all the errors. If you have the except block with only some particular error, this will make the program crash for all the other errors. And we can handle all the other errors like this as well, except name error. We can handle the name error over here. Variable not defined. We can handle the errors like this. Okay, and you can uh, get one thing that this was not printed. This was printed. Can you tell me why? Like, because there was a zero division error as well, right? And name error is
Yeah.
defined later. So this should also be printed, but this is not printed. Only this error is handled, name error.
Because we are not calling it. Yes.
We are calling everything, na? So basically, this happened because we got the name error before the zero division error,
So,
right? The name error was before zero division error.
so it will not proceed to that zero error thing.
Basically, uh, so what happens with errors? Whenever you have an error, that will break the program, right?
Yeah.
So we had an error over here. This was breaking the program. So this error was handled over here. So whenever Okay, so that is also a downside, you can say, that whenever you have any error with inside the try block,
Yeah.
anything after that error will not be executed.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically, if
Okay.
I, instead of print C, if I just print A comma B, not return A hyphen B, if I do this, then see, this error will be handled. We cannot divide anything with 0. Okay.
Okay.
And if we just move C over that, then this will be handled. Variable not defined. Got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, we are trying to print value. We are trying to print value. Is value defined over here in any code? It is not defined, right? So that will be a name error. So result is now set to -1. Okay. And since this particular line gave us an error that was handled over here, result is equals to -1. And finally runs, like after all the error handling, we do run the finally block. We can have the finally block over here as well. We can just go finally print all the errors have been handled. See, variable not defined, all the errors have been handled. So this runs, the finally runs at the very end. Got it? So in this particular code, the value will be, this will give us a name error. In name error, the result we are setting as -1, and then finally we are doing result plus equals 2. So minus one plus 2, that will give us 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so the answer should be 1. Let's see if the answer is 1. Yeah, the answer is 1. Got it?
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah. Now we have a new question. I think this can be done. So list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a empty list which is empty. I is equals to 0. While I is less than length of L. So I is currently less than length of L. S plus equals L up to I plus I. Okay, let's copy that. Let's copy this. Okay. So L is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. S is empty list. And then while I is 0, I is length of this. S is equals to L up to I. So initially it is L up to 0. This will give you an empty list, right?
yeah.
And then from 0, we are getting the whole list. So S is basically this whole list. So S is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I plus equals 1. We increase the I. So in the next iteration, it will be L1, and then from 1 up to the whole thing. So this will give you again. So L up to 1. L up to 1. So this was L. Sorry. So we are basically writing L up to 1. This will give you the first element.
Yeah. What?
So the first element is 1, and
Yeah.
from 1 all the other elements that are 2, 3,
Two,
4,
three,
and
four, five.
5. So every time it will give you the whole list, right? This was the whole list. the first element plus all the other elements. This is the whole list, right?
Yeah.
Then in the next iteration, the value of I will be 2. So for that, we will have
One,
this
two, three, four,
1, 2,
five. Then one,
and then
then
plus,
two, and then three, four,
yes,
five again.
so 3, 4, 5. It will be like this.
Yeah.
Anyways, for each iteration, we will have complete lists. And after this, we have uh, S is I plus, what will the value of S minus 1? So minus 1. So the last element will always be 5.
Five.
So we can just go 5. So the correct answer is 5. Okay. We have the CSV file and we have a snippet of code. Let's do this as well. Okay. So have we have this file, and after that we have this. So do something is file name and department code. File is open the file. So this will open the file, and department is engineering. Okay. So department is engineering. Engineering department has been passed on to the function. So we go f dot read line. So this will read the first line, right?
Yeah.
But the first line is not stored anywhere. We are not storing that first line anywhere. So this is basically the first line will be read and it is discarded. You're not storing it, so it is discarded.
I didn't understand that.
Okay, so basically what happens is, I'll show you. Okay, basically when we go f dot read line, this will read the first line. If we have this, a is equals to f dot read line. So this will read the first line, and then the first line will be kept in a.
Yes.
But since there is no variable to hold that value, we just read the first line. That first line is not stored anywhere. We are not storing that first line anywhere.
So
Okay.
here in this question we don't have any variable to store it. So it
Yeah.
will just print it and then forget.
It will
It will
not
do
print
not.
it. It will not print it as well. It will not even print it because we do
Oh,
not have the print statement, right?
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
This is just reading the first line.
Okay.
Okay. And then val comma count is 0 0. So for line in file, now this line in file basically, you can say this will just iterate all the other lines line by line, line by line, line by line.
But we are reading only a line, na? So
Okay.
how will this?
Okay, I'll show you. Uh, I'll have to make a. Let's close this. I'll have to open a terminal. Okay. Okay, I have this file. Okay, let's have more elements in the first line. Let's suppose this is the first line. Okay, not suppose this is the first line. This is the first line. This is the second. This is the third, and then so on. So when we go f dot read line, it will read the first line and it will keep the cursor at the start of the second line. So the cursor is now over here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go f equals to open story.txt. Open this in read mode and I'll just print F dot.
So when we use this open, so we don't have to close the file, na? It
When
will
you
do it
use
on itself.
open in read mode, then you don't have to close the file. Like read mode, you can ignore closing the file.
So if we are writing something, we have to close, na?
Yes. See, if I do f dot read line, the first line is printed. I am printing the read line. I am printing this, right? Now, if I
Yes.
do f dot read line again, so what do you think should happen? Will this read the first line again?
No, it will read the next line.
It will read the next line. See,
Next line.
this was the first line. This is the next line. So this was the first line, and this is the next line.
Next line.
So whenever you go f dot read line, this will read the first line, and then it will keep the cursor at the start of the next line. So the cursor is now over here,
Yeah.
right? And then if you are not printing it, we are neither storing it nor printing it. We are not doing anything with this. We just read this. Okay. So see what is printed. Only the second line.
Okay,
Got it?
got it.
And for instance, you can, whenever you have a line like this, you can just go a is equals to this. So this is also fine. You can assume that we are storing it in a variable that we are never using again, right? We store it
Okay.
in a variable, but we don't use it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so A will be holding the first line, huh?
Yes, a will be holding the first line. If I print a, this the value of the first line is in a.
Okay.
Okay, so
And
we,
if we put read lines, so it will store a list of all the lines, huh?
yes, so read lines will give you a list of all the lines. I'll show you that as well. Okay, and then after this I'll just print f dot read lines. See, so this was the second line. Okay, I'll give a bit of gap so that it is. So f dot read line, we read the first line, we store it that in a, and then we do
Yeah.
f dot read line again, and then we are printing. So this is for the second line.
Yeah.
So second line is printed, then we are printing a. So then we are printing the first line,
Yeah.
and then we are doing f dot read lines. So everything from the third line is high 2. So everything from the third line is in this list.
Got it.
Got it? Okay. And this is another method, like another way of iterating over all the lines. You can just go for line in file. That will also give you line wise data. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So value and count is initialized as 00. And then for line in file, so for each line in the file, we are doing employee ID, name, department, salary, years. So these are all the values. Employee ID, name, department, salary, and years. So for everything, we are just uh, line dot
Removing
select
the
equals
spaces
to,
and
yeah,
then
removing the commas
putting
and
up.
making a, you can say unpacking the list.
Yeah.
And then salary is equals to float of salary. We are converting this salary into float, since everything is a string by default. And then if department is department, value plus equals salary, and then count plus equals 1. So this will give you, if department is engineering, the value will be incremented. The salary will be added in value.
Yeah.
So for all the engineering people, every salary will be added in value and count will be incremented.
Yeah.
And then we are closing the file and we are returning this value and then divided by count. So that will give you average salary of this department,
The engineering department.
engineering department. Yes. So we have to give a numeric answer. So you understood the question, right? We can skip this.
Yeah.
In the exam, you just have to like you can open the calculator, add every value, and just divide that. Now we have list comprehensions. Okay. So which of the following snippets correctly create a list of square of even numbers from 0 to 10? Both inclusive, 0
C
and 100.
option is correct.
C option is correct. Okay, so this is also clear. Should we
Yeah.
skip this or do you need an explanation?
No, like, is there another option that is correct? Uh,
Let's see.
there is
So
none, na?
for I'll check. So x square for x in range 11 if x mod 2 equals to 0. This is also correct.
Yeah.
X square for x in range 0, 11, 2. This is also correct,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because we are starting from 0, we are going till 11 and we are taking 2 steps.
So here 11 is not included, na?
11, so the 11 which is written, that is always not included.
Okay. Yeah.
And for C option, let's see. X for x in range 10. Okay, this was not correct. The option C is not correct. Because when you go range 10, it will
So it
only
will
run till
become
9,
9. Yeah.
right? So this is not correct. And x square for x in range 2, 11, 2. So it is starting from 2. This is not correct. We want 0 as well.
Yeah.
And squares for x in range 12 if x mod 2 equals 0. So this is also
So
correct.
it
Sorry, correct. Not wrong,
will
correct.
go. So
Because
will it not go beyond the 10? Like,
yeah, it will go beyond 10, but see, we are only taking the even numbers. 11 is not even,
yeah.
so it will not give you the correct result. So we can just check. So according to me, this is correct, this is correct, this is
And
not
last
correct,
one.
and then last one is correct. Yeah, these are all the correct answers. Okay, so be a little careful about these questions, because these questions seem very easy, and in overconfidence you tend to mark the
So
wrong
can
answer.
there is for nested list comprehension, I don't get. Can you,
Nested list comprehension.
yeah. There
Okay,
is like
so
two
list.
list comprehension
Yeah,
in the
so
same.
I'll make a new file. So list comprehension is basically what is the essence of list comprehension. Now in this we have to make a list of all the squares of elements from 0 to 10, right?
100.
So for this, usually how will we do it? We will have a list, okay, and then for I in range
And then total
11, if I mod 2
model
equals
to
0, we will go L dot append I
I.
to I or I square, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, if you have this loop and you want to change this into a comprehension, how that works is you can just uh, inside the square brackets, whatever you are appending, you can write that first and then just copy the loops. And then just start from the loop and copy everything. So for this, if this, okay. So this is a way of converting a like loop into a list comprehension.
Yeah.
And one thing that you should keep in mind, when you have the else condition, right? Else L dot append odd. Okay. So when you have the else condition, you have to write the if else condition before this, before the loop. Okay. When you have only the if condition, then this is fine. When you have the if condition and the else condition, you will have to write something like this. Uh, you append this, like we usually we do the append of the if condition. So I into I, if I mod 2 equals 0, else we append odd, and then the loop. Okay.
Yeah, got
And then
it.
let's go on to the nested list comprehensions.
Yeah,
So for I in range 11, for j in range, let's say 5. Now let's have the same condition. If I mod 2 equals 0, and let's have a j mod 2 is equals 0 as well, then we will append I into I. Okay. So this is exactly same. We just do the append function. We'll copy this, and then we'll start copying the loops. We'll copy the first loop, we'll copy the second loop, and then we'll copy the if condition. That's all. Got it? So for nested list comprehensions, when you have a nested list comprehension, na, you can put this down. You can just uh, spot the first for loop, right? Just spot the first for loop, and you can backtrack like this. You have the first for loop, you write the first for loop. After this, you have the second for loop, just copy this, paste it like this. And then we have the if condition.
so we put the first condition first, then second condition second, and then continue.
Haha.
Like we put the first for loop first, then the
Hmm.
second for
Then
loop
the second for loop,
after
and
that.
then the condition.
Yeah, then the condition.
And when you have the else block, then the if
We
else
put
comes
the
first, then both
else
the conditions.
first, and then whatever the sequence
Yes.
was for, we continue that.
Yes. Okay. Select all the code snippets that run without any error. So this is usual tuple unpacking. This will run without any error.
Yeah.
This is usual tuple unpacking. There are three elements, and then we have three variables. So this will run without any error. This will give us error because there are three elements, but only two variables. So the third element, there is no variable to store that. So this will give us an error.
First two options are correct.
Yeah. So this one and this one. Okay. Now let's see this question. We have had something word s equals to a I o u, and then for I in range of length of word minus one. If word I in s and word I plus one in s, we return true. So basically, if ith element is a vowel and the next element is a vowel as well, then we return true.
Yeah, got it.
Got it? So if when we have two consecutive vowels, it will print true.
So
Otherwise, it will return false.
then of word minus one, because
This is
if we are
outside. Yeah,
if
this
we
is
are
outside the loop.
word in, so it will not take the length.
Your voice is like not properly audible. I cannot hear you.
Hello.
Yes.
So I was saying we are using len word minus one because if we are at the end of the list, so it will not take
I
the
still
list for
cannot
us.
hear you. Sorry. Your voice is very muffled.
I was saying that we are using len word minus one because we are trying to escape that if we are
Yeah.
at the end of the sequence, so it does
Yes, we
not.
are using len word minus one because we have to access the next element. We are checking for next element as well. Okay. So some word is a string variable that has already been defined. So some word has already been defined, and the output is true true. And which of the
Yeah.
following statement is are true regarding the above code? So the first true is because of this. If len of some word is greater than or equals to 3, we print true. So the minimum length of that word is 3 letters. And then we are calling this function.
First
So
three options are correct.
some word contains at least 2 consecutive vowels. This is true. Some word has a length of at least 3. This is true as well.
It
Okay.
is saying length now.
We are checking length, right?
Yeah.
Over here. So the length should be greater than 3.
Greater than or equal to.
Yeah, greater than or equal to 3. So we can say that the sum word has a length of at least 3.
Yes.
Is this clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the next question. Consider the Python code below and answer the given subsequent questions. So what will be the return value when invoking some algo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have 8? Okay. So some algo takes the list and it takes the target. So left comma right is equals to 0 comma length of array minus 1. So left is a variable which is set to 0. Right is the variable which is set to length of array minus 1. And while left is less than right, value is equals to array left plus array right. Okay,
Can you
I'll
explain this array thing?
wait. I'll take a screenshot and then wait. Okay, this is the pseudocode and this was the value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8. So we are calling this function on list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the target is 8. Array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Target is 8. So left is 0, and right is this length of array minus 1. So the length of this is
You
5,
are not
right
audible.
is 4. I am not audible.
You are not audible. Yeah,
Uh, Hello, am I audible now?
yeah, you are audible.
Okay. So I was saying that the left is 0 and right is 4 because
Yeah,
left is initialized as 0, right is initialized as length of array minus 1. This is fine.
yeah,
While left is less than right. So left is less than right now. Value
yeah.
is array left. So the first character of array, which is 1, and array right, the last character, 0 and 4. We are adding these. So 1 plus 4 is 1 plus 5 is 6. If
Yeah.
value is equals target, is the value equals target? It is not. elif value is less than target. If the value is less than target, so since 6 is less than 8, we will go left plus equals 1. So we will
Yeah.
increase left. Left will be now 1. Again, we will do the same thing. So now value is array left plus right. So 2 plus 5. It will give me 7.
Still
7 is
less than
again
a
smaller. So we'll again add 1 2 left. So now it is 2. And now we will have 3. So 3 plus 5 is 8.
8.
So 8 is equals to 8. It will return array left. So array left is 3. Array right is 5. So 3 comma 5. Okay. So the return value will be 3 comma 5. This is correct. Now, for which of the following set of arguments will the sum algo return none? Okay. So we'll have to see when it is returning none. It is returning none when the target is not found, right?
Yeah.
When the target is not found, it will return none. So we have to make a sum of 10. So we can make a sum of 10 from the first argument. 3 and 7 will make a sum of 10. We have to make 14. So 6 and 8 will make 14. We have to make 9. So 4 and 5 can make 9. We have to
Yeah.
make 10.
Probably
So
the
from
last.
uh-huh.
Probably the last option that
Yeah.
is.
So the last option will be correct because from these we cannot make a sum of 10. Now we have another code. So do something, total task, task done. And then we have this. So what will be printed when the function do something 5123 is invoked? 5123. Let's take a screenshot. Okay. And the input is 5 comma 1 2 3. This is the input. So total task is 5. Task done is 1 2 and 3. Let me just check once. Yeah. Do something 5 comma 1 2 3. So def find this count. So this is another function inside the do something function. So if count is equals 0, we will return 0. Otherwise, we will return 1 plus find this count minus 1. So we will like run this function when it is called. Now, tasks completed is length of task done. The length of task done is 3. This is 3. Length of this list, it is 3, right?
Yes.
And tasks left is find this total tasks. So total tasks
Minus
are
task
5
complete.
minus task completed, which is 2. So 5 minus 3 is 2.
2.
Okay, so this will give me 2. And this 2 is, we are just putting this 2 in this find this function. So let's try run the find this function. This is a very lame function, but let's do this. So if count is 0, we will return 0. So count is not 0, it is 2. Otherwise, we are returning 1 plus find this count minus 1. So 1 plus find this count minus 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. This
Yeah.
is this less than 0? Is this equals to 0? No. Then we will return 1 plus. So this will return 1 plus find this count minus 0. So 1 minus 1 is 0. And since this is 0, it will return 0. So 0 plus 1 is 1 and then 1 plus 1 is 2.
2.
So this is basically returning whatever number you put inside this function, it will return that. So from here we will have 2. So this function is just to confuse people. Okay.
Okay.
If task left equals 0, we will print all tasks are completed and will return true. Else we will print task remaining and task left. So this will print 2 and then we'll return false. So it will say task remaining 2. Okay. And then for which of the arguments for the function do something will return true. So do something will return true when the task done is equals to number of tasks. So 4 tasks are done and this is 4. So this will return true. We have to do 5 tasks and 5 tasks are done. So this will return true as well. This will return false and this will return false. And here we have to check which set of arguments will return false. This will return false and this will not return false. Only this will return false.
Can you explain a little bit recursion?
Okay, see this function. What was this doing?
It was
If
calling.
wait, okay. So this is total tasks, right? The
Yeah.
left one is total tasks, and this is the list of tasks which are done.
Yes.
So task completed is length of task done. So length of this. So 3 tasks are done. So whatever is in this list, these tasks are done.
Yeah.
From 5 we have done 3.
Yes.
And then this task left. This is just counting how many tasks we have left. So 5 minus 3 is 2. So
Two.
this is 2. So if
Yes.
task left is 0, if this is 0, then we will print all tasks are completed and will return true.
Yeah.
Else we will return how many tasks are remaining and will return false.
Yes.
Right? So if we have 3 tasks and 3 of them are done, this will return true and it will print all tasks are completed. Right?
Yes.
If we have 5 tasks and only 4 are completed, this will return false and this will print tasks remaining 1.
Yes.
Got it?
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
So
I
in this
was
question,
saying,
uh-huh,
can you explain recursion also? By the way.
recur. Okay, so recursion is basically when you constantly call the function. So basically, let's say you have some factorial function. Okay, let's see the factorial function. So how the factorial function works? If we have to calculate 5 factorial, so the value of 5 factorial is 5 into 4
4
factorial.
into 3 into.
We can write it as 5 into 4 factorial.
Yeah.
So this 4 factorial is 4 into
4
3
into 3
factorial.
factorial.
3 is 3 into 2 factorial.
2 factorial.
2 is 2 into 1
Into
factorial.
1 factorial.
And then 1 is, you
Itself.
can directly say 1 is, the value of 1 factorial is 1, or you can say 1 into 0 factorial. And then the value of 0 factorial is defined, it is 1. So this is how the factorial function works, right? And now
Yeah.
when we have the value of 0 factorial, we will just multiply this. So 1 into 1 is, this will return me 1. So the return value of this
1.
is 1. And then 2 into 1 is 2.
2.
So the return value of this is 2. And then 3 into 2 is
6.
6. And then 4
Yeah.
into 6 is 24. 24. And then 24 into 5 is 120.
120.
So this is how recursion works. When you have a recursive function, let's write the recursive function for factorial. Okay. We will basically write def factorial n. So whenever you have to write a recursive function, you first have to write when do we want to stop.
Yes.
and then we have to write a fixed value which we know. So in this case, the fixed value can be 1 factorial or 0 factorial, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Let's take 0 factorial. So if n is equals 0, if the value of n is 0, what is the value of 0 factorial? We will return 1,
Yeah.
right? Otherwise, we will return n into factorial
One.
of
One.
n minus 1,
Zero. Yeah.
right? So this is how factorial works. We have a base case, or you can say the stopping point. This is the stopping point,
Yes.
and then we have the recursive call.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Any other doubt which you might have?
Uh, so in OPP, last OPP I got 25 marks,
Uh-huh.
and now I'm getting around 70. So my best two questions will be added in OPP 1 marks.
Yes.
Okay. So like if I have two correct in,
You are not audible.
so I was saying if I have two correct in section two, that is 40 marks. So 40 marks will be added in OPP
Yes,
one.
40 marks will be added in OPP 1, and then the final score will be 40 plus 25, 65.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, then let's
So for this NTEM, what topic I have to revise most? Like
for
which
NTEM, not
yeah.
do not stick to one topic. Just do like 2 3 previous year questions, previous term questions. So that will be
Okay.
enough.
So this was December term, no? So,
This was, yeah, last term.
okay. Thank you for the session.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.